This is Clix on the Barbie. Join us as we talk about Clix in Australia, current heroclix happenings, and a dash of meta. Welcome to Clix on the Barbie, episode 12. I'm Ben Jones, and with me we have Raphael Souza.
Hello, it's me.
Chris Rizzi.
How's it going, guys?
And the returning Bobby Kriesman.
It's been a while.
About 4 or 5 episodes?
Dude, it may have been like 6 or 8, man.
It's good to have you back on, and yeah, so we'll keep on moving on. In this episode, we're going to be talking about good, bad, and ugly from the week. Any Clix play that we've had over the last week. We'll have a 3 questions too many. We have one of those sessions where we need to talk, and we're going to tell each other why we're wrong and tell me I'm wrong. So let's turn on the gas, light the Barbie, and talk some Clix. So, boys, how have you been? How has your week been? What have you been up to? What's your good? What's your bad? What's your ugly? Let's go. Raph, why don't you head off first?
Just out of curiosity, you said boys, but do we have any podcasts with a girl?
It would be amazing.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually thinking about that before the actual show. Before we started, so I naturally went to boys. I was going to say peeps, but
do you know if there is any?
There are at nationals.
There are players.
Yeah, at nationals in the U.S., there are 2 really strong female players that you see on a returning basis, and I'm sorry, I completely do not know their names, but
Yeah, I think one of the girls is Alisa or something like this. I think
maybe that sounds about right. And I mean, frankly, like I've played against her once in a if it's the same girl, but I played against one of the competitive girls in one of the, I think it was Team Nats. And, dude, she was an exceptionally competitive player and very, very, very good. So it felt very much like high level play.
yeah, but I think there's no one doing podcasts, right?
Yeah, that I'm aware of.
I don't think so at the moment. They was obviously married with Clix.
Oh
previously.
yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Now that they've sort of stopped doing theirs, that we don't have that. And yeah, look, I know, in my experience, Raph, that I will generally get 1 or 2 girls interested every year when I do it at school.
Nice.
But might have like 10 boys, but 1 or 2 girls are interested, and yeah, we just sort of see how we go from there.
And why is that? Why is that? Or do we need to add this to the next episode? Because everything that I started talking, they come with like, next episode we talk about this, right?
I mean, I think a part of it is, like, very obviously it is a comic book based. Yeah, male adolescents were the focus of the comic book industry for, the entire time I was a male adolescent and many decades surrounding that, right? So, and I think they've, and say what you will, I do feel like under Disney's particular guidance, they've, tried to make characters that are far more.
Yeah, what if we have like Princess Clix or Barbie Clix or?
No, it's not about that. I don't think it works like that at all. Well, like, we don't want to have specialized Clix for girls, because why do they love playing heroclix just as much as we do? Again, it comes down to wanting to play. I always go when I'm talking with parents at school, like, oh, my boy's really enjoying this heroclix thing. I said, well, I guess for boys is what's not to like. You get to play with superheroes, you get to play against someone, and you get to beat each other up. I think, and girls like doing that too. Don't get me wrong, I've seen that happen. So it's just that it may not just be their interest, and it's finding that interest, finding those ones who are really interested in playing. It's like not all boys enjoy playing heroclix. So so I guess because I see from that sort of side the people who find interest in it. It's about interest, not about what the figure. It's not about what the figures are.
Okay, got it. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. It was just off-topic stuff, as usual. I usually do it. So.
Yeah,
That's way left field.
It's your superpower draft.
You have a garden path, and we know that you like to just wander off the garden path and take us in the direction that we're going. That's
yeah.
I totally get
I'll
that.
come back to the path and talk about my week. So
Yeah, go for it.
yeah. Because it's nothing much happening interesting in my week, because going to the 8th or 9th week of like lockdown, so not doing much much stuff that's different. Let me see, I have a chance to play some heroclix on the weekend with Terry, and again, like every time we play, it's just like we play like 1 or 2 rounds, and we kind of like feel that the game is already finalized by that moment, and we just like gave up and start again, because it's just so brutal that the game is like, okay, you did this, you crossed the map, you killed like half of my team, let's start again, because I know where this is gonna end. So that was basically like our games, a lot of discussions and practicing, and basically games with like 2 or 3 rounds, and let's rewind and start again. Yeah, I think this next weekend I'm gonna try something different. We are trying to think about out of the box and try some stuff different. But I think we're gonna speak about this on the podcast like later. So I'll leave some of my stuff to talk later.
Cool. And yeah, is that thinking Mick might be the answer to the general start? That could be interesting. Cool. Thanks, Bobby. And sorry, thanks, Raph. Sorry, Bobby. I was thinking, Bobby, did you want to head up next? How's your week been?
It's been busy. I mean, as we kind of briefly discussed before we started recording, my wife's been down with gastroenteritis, just a real bad stomach bug. So I've been working, kind of doing the homemaker thing, making sure the kids both our children are homeschooled, making sure they're doing school while I'm working, taking care of all the household chores, and trying to make sure she stays alive. So it's been a busy week.
You guys in lockdown as well, Bobby?
Not really. We still have the mask. We still have a full mask requirement, right? So if you leave the house at all, you have to have, etc. But no, we've not been locked down, and in fact, we can talk about it. I mean, we can talk about it now or talk about it later. We actually did. We ran a Winamap with 5 of us on Saturday in person. So, and it was really enjoyable. It was really
nice. And which was the format?
We kind of cheated a little bit, right? We were trying to keep it tier 2 teams. So I don't know if any of us actually played a team that had a chase on it. So it was generally a bunch of super rares. It was really good though, and I feel like we kind of, again, put aside the usual suspects, we ended up having a lot more fun because of it, because the team variety was really, really good. And I mean, we can talk through the various things that kind of rose to the top now or later if you guys want to, but the team building was really good.
Okay, we might come back to that after we've done our good, bads, and uglies. So, no, but it's great to hear that some play at the shop is occurring. That's really good. Chris, what about yourself? What's your good, bad, and ugly?
Well, thanks for that. It's been me back at work, full go. Cracked ribs are healed up, and just kind of working around the house. So no Clix, no nothing. It's actually, I bought my first brick of Wonder Woman today, so it's in the mail. Since we can't go into Melbourne, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, I get one of the secret bricks. But yeah, that's nothing else really happening here.
Is there work in your house like endless stuff?
Oh
yes.
Once you own a house, yes, it never stops. There's always mowing the grass. There's always building garden beds. There's always something to do. So, yeah. And I actually, one of the great things is tonight was a new episode of What If, which what if Black Panther became Star-Lord? It was a really good episode, and they actually had Chadwick Boseman use his voice for Black Panther since he passed away, so it was pretty good.
Where is it? Where is it streaming or
Netflix?
Yeah, on Disney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really good episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't.
So,
yeah, I haven't caught up with it myself, but yeah, I heard that the first one was really good. Was that Carter becomes Captain America or something? And
yeah, Captain America.
And so I think, that might be time to actually lash out and try to find them a bit, because they sound really interesting to me.
Yeah, it is really, really good.
And I guess with a what if like that, maybe might be heroclix come out of it. Who knows? Wait and see. I'd like to see that. Black Panther as Star-Lord. That'd be really nice. For myself, it's been pretty cruisy here. I just keep going about my days as normal. I was excited last week because I sort of had plans to play many games of heroclix, and they all fell through just due to sickness, or we were going to have some shop play, but they had a Pokemon tournament on there, and Pokemon has really strict rules about gathering and how many people you can have in a room and things like that, and so they couldn't accommodate us because Pokemon, it was a pre-release. And even though where our shop is okay, they said, we can have this many people. The Pokemon rules sort of said you can only have so many people in so many spaces. So that was a bit of a shame that we didn't get to play. We were just going to have a 300 point. But other than that, I did manage to play my game in the season 7. I've actually had a couple games since his last run. But this week I played against Daniel. And he had a DC team. I can't remember how good it was. I'm pretty sure it was a scientist team. I can't remember now. But and I played my Fantastic Four team, and it was just a really great fun match. He got me in the end with probably his killer move was Cheetah charging in with blades, hitting on a critical hit, and then rolling a 6 on Franklin.
Come on. He's paying the membership for Roll20. That's for sure.
Is that what it was? Okay.
That's for sure. Yeah.
I have to remember that. Yeah, on Franklin Richards. So it just that was the game winning. That would, because after that Franklin was morally defeated, I think. But it was really good fun. Really good fun. And so I've really enjoyed this season for something different, and I look forward to. I think Bobby, you and I are up this week at some stage.
Yeah.
So we have to work out our game. So I look forward to playing that.
You and I are playing for 3rd and 4th right now, but depending on how points bubble out, it could be one of us will fall down the ranking. Or...
I've heard you played Terry as well.
Yeah. So Bobby played Terry, didn't you?
Yeah, I played him round 1, and I made the classic mistake of, I'm running Molecule Man I'm running 100-point Molecule Man. So I move up the map, I look at his team, read through his stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. So I move up the map and barrier, and then he's like, thing smashes through barriers. So I'm just gonna charge and one shot this person, and then I got the next person, and I'm like, yeah, as you should, Terry, dude. It was just. RTFC, right? The old magic term. Read the freaking card.
Yeah.
I did not RTFC. and
that's what I always say. Is that one of the problems that we have in these games that you come to a tournament with 7 or 9 pieces. How the other player has time to read every other card and know what they do. So that's the surprise factor. If you play multiple times against that person, you might find a way. But the surprise factor in 9, figures is just a lot. There's no way to read the stuff, So
I think that's the reason practice is so important at a high level.
Yeah,
right? If you're practicing for Nats, you got to practice against
All the teams, right? Yeah.
All
I got it.
teams.
Yeah.
And you got to start dipping into tier 2 a little bit too, just because.
Yeah, so you know the teams, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's still the chance that somebody comes up with something out of the blue. So.
And yeah, I played against Terry last night just for fun. We wanted to test out our teams against each other, and we had a great. It was actually I did the same thing. I had my She-Hulk, which you can also go out through blocking terrain. So I was like, cool, I'll set myself up behind blocking terrain, and then Thing came through and broke all the blocking terrain. His Franklin came through, and he came through with a charge, flurry, exploit weakness, and killed She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And then it was good fun. Then my Franklin did the same thing to his Franklin and killed his Franklin. So it was just a really good fun game. So I've been enjoying this season.
Full credit to Terry. He's just really good at placement. Like any game I've ever played with him, he's really good at looking at a map.
Yeah.
And like parsing out mentally where his dudes need to sit to best.
Yeah.
So, I need to learn that skill from him.
Yep.
And one of the things that I learned like recently is that always try to barrier like in a wall, because like in like in the sides of the map, because even if you move to the middle, just go like in like in the edges of the map, because even if he breaks barrier, you sometimes make it harder to kind of like exactly go inside your barrier stuff, so.
And you're completely right, Raph. And you kind of like, you can barrier in a line in front of your dudes because, if to break through barrier, you have to be able to move to the square after that. Right?
Exactly.
And if you body block the square after the wall of barrier, then it's not possible.
Yes, correct. That's it.
Hindsight's 20/20, right? So.
That's why we continue to play, so we continue to learn how to play better. I would say that's one of the things I like doing, is learning about better positioning and practice, but just having the fun with the games is just really fun.
Yep.
So that was my week, and that's been my play for this time. So I am hoping. So our last podcast we did, we talked about the RAF set getting to Australia, and it actually got here on the date, but it hasn't made it to my shop yet. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll be able to pick some up. That's my fingers crossed, because I know it's in Australia. It's just got to get to my shop. And so
and I think the Icon is supplying it, because like I checked it let's play game, and they have no stock, so probably it's just Icon that is supplying that stuff.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. So that's where my shop goes through Icon. So I went into shop last week and showed them and said, yep, it's here. Make sure you get it in. But we'll talk a bit about RAF set a bit later on as well. And so that was my good, bad, and ugly. So thanks very much for sharing about that. And now what I'm going to do is handball it over to Chris for our 3 questions too many.
Thanks, Ben. So 3 questions too many. We have 2 questions that are usually heroclix related, and then just one kind of random one that I try to come up with. Let's start this off. What is your least favorite power to use? I believe this was a question that Raph was bringing up last week when we were talking about our favorite powers. And then we kind of said, well, just hold on until next week, and we'll do it this week. So let's start off with Raph, since he's handballing stuff to the weeks after. What is your least favorite power to use, Raph?
I don't even remember which one if I picked any, but let's see. Least favorite one. Probably. Okay, I think. Can I talk about 2 or just 1? Oh my god. Okay.
Go with 1, and it's that you use.
Okay.
Not that your opponent uses, the one that you use that you least like.
that I hate using. Let's
or
see.
that you think doesn't work right.
Doesn't work
or
great.
something like
Okay,
that.
I think like Force Blast is now kind of like a little bit useless. It has potential. I can see some, but it's very, very occasional. You have to kind of like use that to kind of like split the other team or something like this. And usually people forget about using the knockback part of like the Force Blast. So I mean, not like Force Blast itself. If you use it, of course you're gonna like knock back, right? But sometimes I'm just saying like you have Force Blast in your dial and you just kind of like forget that you have it and you forget about the knockback. So that's what I'm saying. Is basically I feel that it's kind of like I don't like it too much. So that's it. My pick is Force Blast.
All right. Bobby, what about you?
I'm looking through the PAC here. I feel like Force Blast definitely lost a lot with recent changes. Honestly, Super Strength. Just because now it essentially does nothing, right? I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but super like objects, like right now, the only thing a heavy object does is provide stealth, which there's some value there, but Super Strength does nothing, right?
Pretty
it gives
much.
you knockback during close, but knockback also is now far less influential on the game. So I feel like if I'm paying for points on a character, Super Strength should do more these days.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It's certainly not one of those powers you go, I must have Super Strength for my team anymore.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, honestly, anymore, it probably shows I'm a poor player. Anymore, I forget objects half the time, right? Just because they do like so much less than they used to.
Yeah,
it's situational again, very situational, not something that you're gonna like work to put in your team. It's just situational. If you have it, it can save you in some games, but very situational, I think.
Correct. I know Daniel does an excellent job of using precision strike on light objects to take out phoenixes. A lot.
But we are talking about bad powers, not good ones. So don't remind me about that.
What about you, Ben? What is the worst power to use that you use?
This is really hard because there's powers that just seem, as I think both Bobby and Raph point out, just powers that have really taken a dip since the changes, and there's a few of those. I guess my track is one that I find difficult to use. I think it's a good power, but I find it really difficult to use is defend. So when I go, sometimes the characters they put defend on, and I go, my defense is already higher than that person anyway, so it seems like a waste of a figure. And the other time is just it'll have it, and then I'll be like, oh no, I forgot to put them next to the person that has the defend who's going to give them the 18 defense.
Yeah.
So it's a bit about my placement, but I also find like defend is I like a piece like the thing that has that 19 defend, because that feels like it's worthwhile, and 18 defend's good. It just feels like it's not enough anymore.
Valid. Very valid.
19 defend is good. 19 defend is good. Like you can kind of like build around that stuff, because when it's 19 defend, you remember.
And so I think. Sorry, Chris,
how the defend used to be is you'd have defend with support. So your nightly nurse or whatever it was would have a 14 defend. That way you can roll for the support to heal up your character, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so you use it for yourself to support yourself and do well. But
so there's a hit and miss with it.
Yeah, I just always forget to place in the right positions to use it really well, and that's something I'll probably still continue to work on. But so I'm going to go defend for myself.
All right. And for myself, I have to say leap climb. I've never used it. It's never been a real option for me. It's just there's other options out there. I would say. So that's leap climb is for me.
Became a little bit irrelevant as well, right?
Yeah. Once you got the improved movement for everything.
Yeah.
It's I don't see the point of it, but that's the one I least favorite. So
if I had to pick a second one, I would just quickly say support. Support is the second one.
Support's good because you might have a chance to survive yourself.
But I never roll enough to attack my own guy. Never. Like support never worked for me. Like every time I tried support, I failed. Like I don't know.
Well, get defend. Defend would help you. So that's good. All right. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Ben.
I was going to say, the leap climb was very situational beforehand. If you were, down a lower level and someone's up top, you're attacking that, you could do it with leap climb. They've taken that away, if I remember correctly, and why would you want leap climb when you can run and shoot someone or run and punch someone with like running shot or charge? So, I agree with you, Chris, on that one.
So, all right, we'll move on. Name the best prob in modern age, and because it's Raph, I'm saying one each. Instead of throwing in the last one, let's start off with Bobby on this one. What is the best prob in modern age?
Mr. Oz. I mean, I think he kind of wins almost hands down. The 12 range that sees through everything, and a TK
you
on
son
top
of
it.
Bitch, that's the one I was going with.
Sorry, brother. Okay, so
that's all good.
Yeah, I mean, there's another one, and I can go with another one if you want.
No, it's just fine. One. Okay. Just one.
Mr. Oz.
You chose Mr. Oz.
Yeah, Mr. Oz.
Let's see if my pick. Let's see if my pick gets the last one here. So, Bobby, what is yours? Or sorry, Ben.
Well, I have to agree with Bobby because that's what I was going through as well. I had him on my list as well. So I'm going to say Mr. Oz. I agree. The 12 range, see through everything is just... And he only got better with the change. Being able to, push now without having to take that click of damage. So I think he's just got a heap better. And for 40 points, I still can't believe I just don't see him on the field anymore. So I agree.
Well, who was it today was like, oh, Rebirth is still legal. I think that was what, Terry saying that? It is.
He's Tyrant is coming at you like half the games, right? The 2 squares off of Oz's TK ability becomes very relevant. It really does.
Yeah, and I guess that's the other benefit with him. You have your prob from a long way away, and if you're throwing, you get an extra 2. If they're throwing, you get to change, you get to move them back. So, he is just, for 40 points, I can't believe I just don't play him that much anymore. So I'll go with Mr. Oz. I was going to quickly search through for someone else, but I'll have to say him as well.
All right, Raph, I know you got a list of stuff going, so what would you say yours is?
I'll have to pick just one, right? So, okay. So just to be a little bit different from the others, and because I played against this guy and I suffered like a lot, I'm considering that one of the best probs is Doom the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
Because you can prob once per attack. You may reroll. It's kind of like, not sure if it's like a prob, but it's sort of a prob, right? Because you can reroll the attack roll of a character within range in line of fire. He has like 8 range, and you can reroll once per attack. So if you are attacked like 4 times, you can re-roll that's the 4 times, and also you can probe on top of that with like other probes that you might have. So it just looks like very good.
That's a good. That's good pick. So he's got that special power on his damage, which has changed the fates. Once per attack, you may reroll the attack roll of a character within range and line of fire, and that's not a problem.
Yeah, so I was attacking. I was attacking him, and I was getting reroll, reroll, and then I probe, You know, like you have like 8, let's say, probes in a turn. You know, so it's like quite crazy.
It's a great choice.
Yeah,
he comes up with I hadn't thought of that.
That's it. That's my pick.
All right, that's a good pick.
You have something different.
Yeah, well, I'm going astronomer because he's just. I think he's pretty good. You can see through everything and got the improved targeting, so that's who I'm going with.
He's good. He's good as well.
I'll also point out, just because I've been playing him a lot in meta practice games recently, Faust. Like, because his prob comes on a body that makes your opponent think twice about anytime they want to use one of the 3 big powers.
Yep.
All right.
Yes. So that's Felix Force is yes.
Yeah, those are some good answers.
I think it's Go. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry, bud.
No, you're fine. I was just saying. I think it's also just the other things that they can do, which make them just as right. So, Faust says he's probability control, but he's just got that other stuff which makes him so valuable as the astronomer is, as Doom, and as Aussies. So they're all great picks. Excellent picks.
Yeah, I like that Mr. Oz pick. That's one of my favorites. So. All right, we'll go on to question number 3. If there was a masterclass / program to learn something, what would you do? So like a cooking class, class to blow glass or make some sparkly things. What would you choose? Let's start off with Ben on this one.
I have been watching Forged in Fire on SPS, and so I think it might be blacksmithing. I think that's what got me really interested in doing that, making my own knives and things like that. Not that I need to make knives or anything like that and swords, but it looks really interesting what they do. So if I was able to take a master class, I think it would be in blacksmithing.
All right. Well, I mean, making knives and being in the outback, I think you'd need one, right? Like Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, that's a good Aussie thing to have a nice big knife on you. So, when I go out, out camping, I'll have a knife, and I could say I made it myself. So that would be my thing.
That's cool. Bobby, what about you?
Honestly, 3D sculpting. So, and we got it. It's one of those long story short version is we bought a filament 3D printer for the boys for schooling as part of the homeschooling education. They looked at it once or twice, but never did anything with it. And now a year and a half later, I run it 24/7 to make all kinds of crazy stuff. And I recently got a wild hair and bought a resin printer. So I've been running that now, not 24/7 because it's more complicated. But I'm able to find a bazillion free resources to 3D print or paid resources to 3D print, but the creativity that goes into actually sculpting them is amazing. Like some of these things I look at and I'm like, wow, I would love to know how to do that. And I got nothing. I can do blocks. I can do blocks and circles.
Same as me.
Is that like an AutoCAD program you'd want to learn or?
Probably. It's probably Mesh Mixer, which is kind of and I've tinkered with it a little bit, but it feels essentially like Adobe Illustrator or any of the art programs, but like on steroids, because you're not doing it in 2D anymore. You're now doing it in 3D, and you have like light sources and shading and full 3D.
Have you ever heard about ZBrush?
No.
Okay, yeah. ZBrush is like a professional one that the guys they do like the 3D. Like professional 3D stuff is done at ZBrush. So the software costs like $2,000 or something like this, and it's like really really professional stuff. It's an absurd, like the stuff that you can do. Mainly if you have like. I bought like a pencil, like for the computer, you have like a pencil that you can kind of like write stuff and then draw and this kind of thing. And you 3D sculpt with the pencil. I think like ZBrush lets you use the software for free for 30 days. So just download and have a look on that stuff. It's so cool. It's so cool, but it's very hardcore stuff as well. So.
Check that out, Raph.
Yeah.
Awesome. Raph, what about you, bud?
First of all, I thought Bobby was going to pick like heroclix classes, but he chose something else. I would like to learn like coding. I'm passionate about like PC and computer coding stuff. Like I like a lot. I just can't like learn myself, so I tried. It doesn't make quite sense. The things like coding is basically logic, and I think my brain's not very logic. So but I would like to go with coding. Any coding like C++, this sort of stuff, like coding in general, so I can kind of like do programs. And like sometimes you have like an idea and I said, okay, I want to develop like an app to do this, but I don't know how to do the app, so I have the idea, I just don't know how to develop the app. So any sort of like computer language, I would love to learn that stuff. So.
All right, that's cool. I'm gonna just add to that, and I want to try my hand at IT. So I'm going to be looking at building a computer here in the next 4 or 5 months, hopefully. And I just want to learn how to build it and what pieces I need and stuff like that. And I'm pretty much a monkey when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So coding is part of it, and I mean just general computers, that and a little bit of design, like Adobe stuff kind of is what I'd want to do. But yeah,
that's cool.
So yeah, that's what I want to do. Thanks guys for that. Cool. That was 3 questions too many.
All right. Thank you very much. That's all excellent things for us to learn. I feel like I might have been I feel like that Sesame Street thing, 3D things belong together. 3D things are kind of the same, and so because you go, oh, cool, 3D printing, computers, blacksmithing, feels very different.
Well, you are doing the 3D stuff yourself, right? No printers, like I do it myself.
Come the zombie apocalypse, Ben, yours is way more useful. I mean, let's all be honest.
True, that's true. You can see Raph sitting there coding away, go, cool, stay away from me. Okay, I'll save you, Raph, with my knife that I made myself. It's just really cool to see the different things that we are interested in, where we're headed. So that's a great question. Thanks, Chris, for those today. That was really good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think we need to talk, and an issue that we need to talk about tonight is an Australian Nationals for heroclix. We didn't have one in 2020 due to people lack of moving around the country, and we had our last one in 2019, and I'm thinking it's probably not this year. We're not going to have much movement again, with states being locked down and quarantines occurring as people move into different, if you come into a state. So my thinking is have a nationals for Australia this year, an online event that we want to do? What's the thinking? So I think there's something we need to actually talk through. And so I'm just bringing it up tonight to say, well, let's talk Aussie Nationals. What are we going to do about it for this year? And yeah, so I'm just thinking we just probably need to play online. But what do you guys think?
The US is having a Nationals or not? Do you guys know?
No. If anything, I mean, it's possible. So national, and I mean, this is all based on history, right? So who knows? New rules, right? But Origins is always usually where they had nationals, and then Worlds is usually where they have, Gen Con, or later on in the year, if they do it independently, is where they would typically have Worlds.
Yeah.
So Origins is still going forward. WizKids doesn't have a booth there, is not attending in any known way. So that nothing's happened at Origins. Theoretically, as of right now, WizKids does have a space or place booked at Gen Con. So maybe they'll do something there, but with the way the Delta variant is kind of tearing through the US right now, I also find it likely that a couple months from now it'll be a far worse situation and nothing will happen, right?
Yeah, so we don't know if what the situation in the US is going to be for the Nationals. That they had their Clix Cup, so they have been getting together, but it sounds like probably they're going to be going back down. But WizKids hasn't really said anything about supporting, or that I know of. I'm not in the WizKids know, but I just haven't heard anything myself. It feels like in Australia that they're not too concerned. Just we're happy to sell a product. I think the good thing I saw was that they actually started shipping to Australia. Someone was saying on one of our chat lines.
Yes.
So at least you got, they will ship to Australia, which would be nice. It's just a bit of bad luck. It was like right on the end of the Wonder Woman thing. So it feels like we're going to have to do it ourselves if we want to run a Nationals. And would we be capable of doing that ourselves without support from WizKids? Why would people want to come and play? People be willing to play online.
Do you think that the Nationals, name using Nationals, will have like broader approach, or or do you feel that you calling it the event like as Nationals can make people angry and say like, this online stuff is not Nationals, what do you feel about this?
That's actually a really good question, because not everyone enjoys playing online, and it is a different feel when you play online. And so do we call it something else?
Clix on the Barbie Cup.
We could certainly do something like that.
I think that's awesome. Well, seriously, we could do our own version of the Clix Cup, right?
Yeah.
And, we just make it very obviously known that, our opinion is that there will be no Nationals this year.
Yeah.
And who knows? That is our opinion, but we only got three.
Yeah, it was just like thinking like people, if we call it Nationals, and people will not want to kind of like recognize as Nationals, and this is not. You remember that something happened similar in the US with like the Rock Cup being the Nationals, and people saying this is bullshit, this is not Nationals, and
Yeah, so then it's about, I guess, the identity of the event, isn't it? Like, we're playing regularly, but we only got a small league of 6 to 10 people who will probably play online.
Mm-hmm.
And if we were to say we're going to have Nationals, is it just going to be those people who just are online normally playing?
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to create another event for, like, I like the sound of it, the Barbie Cup or something like that, and the Clix Barbie Cup or something like that, and we could have an event that we run.
Yeah.
And for those who are interested, we could open up.
We can even record and put it like online on our channel, this sort of stuff.
But it feels like WizKids isn't going to give any support for a nationals type event. So we know that they have figures hiding. We know that there's master molds around the place, but I haven't heard of any making it to Australia.
Cosmic Ghost Rider, baby. I want that figure.
And Master Mode is just legal today. If you didn't realize, it just became legal today. So,
and do we work on sourcing pricing ourselves, and work out a cost that would happen and see who wishes to play? And I'm thinking that might be the way we need to go.
I think so. And I mean, honestly, if all of us are willing to, if we can get 10 players, we can happen. If we can get 20 players, we can make something relatively nice happen. And I mean, and honestly, even if it's just the winner gets a brick of whatever.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
Nice. That's good.
Better than a kick in the shin. We, like I said, we ran our winner map last weekend, and honestly, the winner map kits are really nice, right? I mean, the paper maps are really good. The neoprene map is awesome, and they're all very good playable maps. And the dice and the little rock sleeves that also come in kit, all those are really pretty nice too, man.
Yeah, cool.
Even one of those in the prize mix, I think would be worth playing for.
Yep,
Raph,
I agree.
Raph, I think you brought up a good point, because I had just thinking about, as I was thinking, just calling nationals and let's call it nationals. But you're probably right. I think nationals might be one of those things that we need to leave till we actually do get back in person. But having a Clix Cup could be really a Clix Barbie Cup. That could be really valuable for those people that want to still continue to compete, and at least that way we can say, well, this is what the event is, and it's going to be 300 point modern, and we go, that's what it is. So then the next question is,
I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, Ben. Just to add to this, it opens some doors as well if we do like this and we do online. Even to kind of like people from outside Australia, like in the US, they open this for like the guys around the world. So it's an option. Like, I don't know if anyone wants to play, but we can put out there in the Facebook page or something like this. And
I think we should completely do it Australian time zone, just so they get to feel our pain.
100%.
No, you completely whatever, you get to pay freight.
Yeah.
And I like the sound of opening it up, but definitely it has to be like an Australian weekend.
No, of course, yeah. Like in the US, they don't change anything for us, So it's like our event at our time zone, but open to anyone that wants to participate, right? So
which is what their events are too. It's their event, their time zone. It's open, and we have done it. That's why I like the pod play was really good, because it gave me a bit more chance to work out a better time to play in events I've played. The pod play has been really good, rather than having to just sort of sit at my computer from 10 o'clock at night to 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is. So I think that's I'm actually, so this conversation has taken a real turn from talking about nationals, so let's put on our own event, which I really like. I'm really enjoying the sound of that. And so would you be thinking just a 300 point modern? So I guess discussion comes, is it like a 2-day thing we want to do, sit at the computer for 2 days and play, like one day is a 300 point modern, the other day is maybe a Silver Age, or do we just stick to one thing? Or is it, how many, what would people be willing to play in a day, how many games? And I guess I have all those questions that rattle around in my head about how that might work out. So I don't know if you guys have got any answers.
I mean, if you curate it somewhat, it makes it less menacing. But I mean, if you want to do a real high level event, then you make it 300 point modern, and you make it cutthroat as it can possibly be, right? So and honestly, maybe we do 2 parts to it, right? I liked Wesson had the suggestion of running a teams event, which I liked, and then doing like a Highlander component to the teams, which is to say, like, everybody on your team can only have 1 copy. Any figure that everybody on your team is now challenge there is we may not have enough players to do a legit teams event.
Yeah, that's finding. I know I could probably find a team of 3 people, but then that takes. There's that does use a lot of people out of our small.
Like, we could almost do like a state of origin thing and just do state versus state for the team event, right? Because we could get 3 or 4, maybe 5 of us from Queensland, and
That's actually a really cool idea. Yeah, that's.
I think from Melbourne you only get 2 guys, so.
But you can.
Okay.
Well, there's only Anthony in Canberra, so Anthony might really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can completely join it.
So he's like a joker, right? Like he can play for any team because he's Canberra. So Canberra is like nowhere in the map.
He's a wild card.
He's a wild card. So he can just team up with anyone.
He's the dark horse.
So a teams event would be really interesting to actually do. That's fun. I think I'm actually more interested in doing a teams event than just a straight 300-point modern for myself personally.
I'd be on board with that, and we could. I mean,
how the team event works.
Team Sealed is also very interesting. And I've done 2 nationals on the team event side of things, right? And basically, like teams or Team Sealed, you still pair individually, but you basically get 3 points for a win, 1 point for. I guess we'd have to look at the scoring. Yeah. 3 points for a win. All right, we would have to double check that because I'm not remembering how that functions. Sorry, guys.
No,
but yeah,
okay.
You play individual games.
But it doesn't need to be like 3 people, like.
Yes.
So I think use your team as 3. So you have a team of 3.
Well, you can do it duos. Duos, I mean.
Yeah, you could.
That would probably be easier since there's only 20 players in Australia.
Yeah. Yes. Duos could actually work better.
Yeah, that may actually be better. You guys are right.
Dynamic duos.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. And I can look into that. I'll look into the scoring side of it.
Just to let this registered here, I'm inviting Terry to be my team. So.
No.
I thought first. So I'm the first one.
No.
Yeah,
there is no dibs in this. There is no dibs.
You have to bribe him, right? I mean, we'll have to settle it American style. Whoever can bribe him the most gets him as a player.
No.
Hey, Bobby, why don't you try to
It would be really
Rochambeau for it is what it is.
Bobby, try to get Tyler Spees to be your partner.
In case you didn't know what that is, I kick you in the nuts and then you kick me in the nuts and we see who wins in that.
So,
just in case you didn't know.
Teams Sealed is a very, very cool format, right? In that you get, basically, you can do it a couple of different ways. The best power, like you get the best build pool if you go, like, every team basically buys a brick. You open the brick as a team, split the brick, and build a team for each player out of the brick.
But we might have difficulties with the online stuff, right?
Yeah, and basically in a brick, you should be able to get a good team.
Yeah, and so
that's
I like
a good idea for that.
I like the idea of a brick.
Yeah, it's a fun format. Like I said, and you kind of all sit together, like, because the format we run was a three-man. Basically, look at the pool, and you decide, like, well, okay, we dump all the good stuff into one team. Give that to the strongest player and just try to like ride his coattails. Do we try to build 3 equal strength teams and see how we go? Do you build theme team? Do you build kind of like synergy teams? Do you just try to kind of go crazy and find a tent pole for every team and then build around that? So there's various team building strategies that go into it too, which is cool.
But how do we do like with
you also have to find the right
stuff?
Set to play with that if you do it that way.
Yeah.
See, if you go with the Rise and Fall, that's a hard pass.
Well, And like, I don't know that Wonder Woman would be all that much better because you get Superman and you get friggin' Zeus and you get, like sealed for Wonder Woman's a little off.
Yeah, so you look to the future, you go Empire or War of the Realms, I would say.
Yeah.
War of the Realms, I think, would be the best one for that.
Yeah.
When that's about to be
they look like a
released?
couple strong sets really coming up, so that would be really interesting to play those ones. And I like the idea of having the brick between 2-3 teams. I guess I understand why it's 3 players, because at least you can have a 2-1. Like if 2 players win their game, 1 player wins theirs. It's really clear who the winning team is. If we do our duos, which I like the idea of, is it'll be sort of like that. Okay, this 1-1-1, they 1-1, so now we're down to points and which team scored the most points, which is fine as well. So make things really close and be that actually really good fun. Is there other teams? Is it like building like the Highlander? Like you can only have one of those on any of the teams. Is that 300-point building constructed Highlander across all teams? I think that's what they did last year for their teams.
I would say that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a fun event.
Yeah, unless it's what do you call it? Generic.
Yeah, and if you're willing to pay a Minotaur and you want to play 7 of them, go for it. I'd be happy with that. But I don't want to see like a Sky Tyrant on all 3 teams.
Yeah, well, and it makes it interesting because you also have to look at like your sideline, right? So if you allow a sideline, like for example, in Critical Clix, there's an interesting. They went through that whole teams event, and part of the description there was like, Scott was playing Jason and like basically had to convince the rest of his team no one play Captain Marvel so Jason can spit out the cat, right?
Yes.
It's true Highlander, you only get 1 copy, right? So it forces some interesting situations like
that. Yeah. It forces really good discussion about how to build your teams as well, and just makes those changes to the team. So it sounds like just a really good event, and actually I think we could probably put something on, or we could work out the process to put something on for that, which is really cool.
Yeah,
if we were to try to organise prizing, we talked about maybe getting some winner maps to use, and I guess I have super rares that just sort of sit in a box at home, and they're hard to get off. I'd be willing to donate stuff, I'm sure. And the other thing I was thinking of is trophies. I'd be willing to go and get some trophies made up as well, because I think a trophy is always just a really cool thing to have.
So since you are in the blacksmithing kind of trophy
stuff, and something that we could look into.
Can you blacksmith one?
3D print a trophy that could be used as terrain on a map.
So nice. It needs to be a Barbie then.
That could be like used as a building, right?
Well, no, you'd print off like a 3D barbecue. That could be used. If we do Clix on the Barbie.
Ben,
and that could be a 3D printed barbecue object that everybody gets for just playing in the event. Because I won't lie, man. Like getting into 3D printing, you basically figure out how much money they make off of miniatures. And I mean, you guys probably saw. So Chris, and I'm forgetting his last name. Chris, the player down in Sydney. He's recently gotten back into Warhammer 40K, Space Marines, blah blah blah. He had a picture of the box, and the box cost him $75 on sale. I'm like looking at the box, and I'm like, "There's 5 figures in that box." I now can tell you that there is about 30 cents worth of resin in each.
Yeah.
And I'm buying plastic at hobbyist rates, right? I'm not like buying it bulk. So, and there's something to be said for the value being in the IP and et cetera, et cetera. So.
Ben, can you blacksmith
for some reason, I was flicking around YouTube. I saw that about forgeries for Warhammer figures that have been 3D printed, and so it must be a thing.
Proxies.
Maybe heroclix players. Yeah. I think heroclix players we're just not that. Let's go. Not as keen. So yeah, I think it sounds like we'd be interested in doing a big event over a weekend.
Hello.
And having a bit of a maybe not a nationals, because if we do it digitally or do it online, it's hard for everyone maybe to participate, or people are interested in participating. So it sounds like we might be looking at running our own thing at some stage this year.
Ben, can you blacksmith a trophy for us?
Well, that was something I need to still do my masterclass in, so I'll have to look that up over the time and see what I can do. I would say at this stage no, but I can always learn. I'll try to learn. But as Bobby said, he'd be willing to maybe make something out of 3D printing, which would be really cool. And so I think we could actually put something on and maybe not call it Nats. Just let's have an event where we can. I like the idea of having an event for a weekend where we can just have a hangout room and just sit in there and maybe come and chat as well. I always find that online play is a bit like, cool, play. We get together, say, hi, how you going? Let's play a game. And then it's like we finish the game and go, okay, thanks, bye, see ya. And I miss that part of talking to a person after playing.
Even if possible, if we have like cameras and stuff, we can even turn on the cameras and play like, with cameras on. That should be something,
So I think it's something we can investigate. So as we need to talk about Australian nationals, it's turned into we can put our own event on.
Yep.
And I think that's something that we could probably do, and we can work out a whole lot of other stuff. So I guess for people listening, wait and see what happens in the future, and as we work things out, we'll probably have some more announcements about it. Has anybody got anything else they'd like to say about Australian nationals? I'm sort of looking at the time and thinking things are moving on.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I think all of us would love more in-play events, right? But welcome to the new world. It ain't gonna change anytime in the immediate future. So do what you can.
So I guess that opportunity to play against each other is only available to us online at the moment, and so we'll continue that, and we look forward to the day where we do have the opportunity to get back together. Chris, I'm going to hand it over to you for this next one. I'll let you start off. That's okay.
In the Tell Me I'm Wrong?
Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, looking at the new Rise and Fall set, the RAF set is what we're calling it, I have to say I'm underwhelmed. There's just nothing there really, except for a couple pieces. I know for this set, I'll buy into 6 or 7 case breaks over in the States and buy a case and a couple other here in Melbourne. But this set, I think I'm just going to go with 1 brick, and that's it, because there's nothing fancy, I would say, that has me wanting to buy this set. And with the distribution that they have, it's a shame, I would say.
So you're saying the set sucks?
Pretty much. The RAF set sucks.
Okay.
Sorry, bud. There's only...
That's very unfortunate, right? Like I have one chance in life to have like a set called RAF. And then it sucks, right? Oh my god. Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
Like looking at
you got 3 good pieces out of that set, maybe 4.
And each set kind of they try to make things fresh by including new mechanics in each set, or a new theme, or a new something to each set, right? And the rally mechanic is just really underwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, you can do some stuff if you combo off of Moira, maybe. But it feels like it's either so situational or so complicated to set up that, especially in a meta game, by the time you manage to pull it off, Sky Tyrant will have eaten your team, right? So, or you'll have 3 maggots in your face poisoning your whole team. So, I would love to tell you you're wrong, Chris, but you're really not, man.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of this, is tell me I'm wrong, and if you guys agree with me, then I guess I'm not wrong.
I mean, someone can prove us wrong, right? So I say, you think the set sucks, and then comes a guy with a complete team on rally dice and wins, some championship, and then we all rush to get that pieces.
Wow, that's if you net deck it there, Raf.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's basically what I do, basically.
we all know that. I was trying to be nice about it since I'm Canadian. Just trying to be nice about it.
Say what you will, Raf has been able to net deck some really nice teams. So
he's 100 watt.
I've stolen some stuff off his teams, man. He's a good net decker. Well, I mean, but to Raf's point, he's not wrong, dude. I mean, Agate was a $20 super rare for a fairly long time until somebody broke them, and now you really can't find one. Now, mind you, with COVID, it does
really, you can't find one? I got 3 of them, 3 or 4. So that's just distribution. Yeah, exactly. I don't even know how much Maggot's going for now, but
I picked some up a couple of weeks ago, and I think I paid $40 a pop, maybe. I'd have to double check. Yeah, I mean, he's, especially for a super rare, he's now in far higher than previously was. Obviously, because, to Raf's point, someone built a very effective team with.
Okay, well, I will try to tell you wrong. I actually don't know if you are, but I think this set feels underwhelming because the Wonder Woman set and the chases, especially in that set, were very overpowered in some ways, and this one feels like it's just gone, it's a bit of a downer on it. There's a few things I don't like, which is, we get another set of Starjammers. I was just getting Starjammers in the previous set, but I think there are some good pieces, things that we've needed to see for a while, like a Blackheart, and Blackheart they made really good. Yeah, you've got great things like the Mimic. I've lost it now, and there's a power creep thing. So one of them seemed to, like they said, we will bench all these powers, but then all of a sudden they made these things do some really uber powerful stuff, and this set has gone, we're going to try this rolling mechanic, and we're not giving them as much uber powerful stuff, and so it feels like it's this is not a great set. But could it,
you're not wrong, Ben. For the health of the game, it's good to have a lower power set for a while.
Yeah, it's more of a helper set, and does every set have to be, and every figure have to be kick butt meta? And I guess that's the part, I guess there's still cool things, like there's a Sentinel, which you can just put a Sentinel on your bench. You have, so, you can obviously you've got the Magneto and the Professor X, which allow you to do, I think they will come into own as we get more pieces and there's more opportunities to swap pieces around. They'll actually come into their own as well. So I still think there is some value to this set. As I'm only going to buy into it for, a case at this stage myself, but I still think there is value in this set. It's the Emperor Gladiator. Is it Emperor Gladiator? He looks amazing as well for 100 points. Is it 100? Is it Emperor? Yeah, for 100 points, a 14 speed, 12 attack. Yes, I think there's some, as I say, again, it's like any set, there's always a few good pieces, and I think they have some
when you're going back to, let's say, the last, what modern age is, there hasn't been any sets that have missed the mark. Like Rebirth a little bit. I'd say the last real set that kind of just fell on its face would be, which one is it? Avengers Infinity was a little bit kind of meh. But I mean, you go back, even before that, it was Elseworlds and What If. Those two sets just underwhelmed everything. And that's kind of what it feels like is what they did with this set, is they just went, well, here's a bunch of figures that we just did. We'll just slap some new dials on them. Here's a new mechanic, and there you go, out the door.
Yeah, because every single set of the other ones, they were really strong in meta stuff, right? If you see everything, Ben just mentioned like Wonder Woman, but look back, the previous one was like Future Foundation with all the Dooms stuff, like super meta stuff, and then you look at like House of X.
With Future Foundation, you got a lot of B players that could be stepped up. This one, you got five characters in Rise and Fall that can jump out and do something, like the Professor X and Magneto. Which one is it?
Probably Blackheart.
Blackheart, Diamond Patch.
And Hellfire Guards as well, like to give mastermind to some stuff, but it's just like few pieces.
Whereas you go back to Spider-Man versus Carnage, you had a lot of good hitters throughout the whole lineup. Or you go back farther to Captain America and the Avengers. There was a lot of good stuff in there. It's just this one. It's underwhelming, and I'm using my money to vote as this is a bad set, is what it is. Because usually I'd put a couple $100 into it, and there you go. Mm-hmm. But this one is just kind of meh for me. So
unless again someone comes with some crazy stuff with these rally dice, but the only things like I can see is like what Bobby mentioned, something with like Mora. Power action, give a dice to someone else that can charge, blades, flurry, and it's just like I didn't see anything on those rally dice that can be like game changer or something, but I might be wrong.
No, you're quite right. No, there are some horrible clicks in this one, but okay, so I go back to the start. I go back to Rebirth at the moment, and I go, well, what's in Rebirth that is valuable? The chases and that, they were great chases, but they were too overcosted for modern. We talked about Mr. Oz before being one of the best probs still in the game, and that's from Rebirth as well. Then from there on, you go, what else was there?
Black Adam was there.
The Deathstroke, the Starfire was great.
Yes.
You got Mr. Oz, like we said.
Duke Thomas is playable until today. Press record, yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so I've used Press Record. So,
Billy Batson.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that Black Adam, especially if you're playing Silver Age with ID cards. And Black Adam has an amazing ID, Jackson.
And just to remind Bobby that you lost the chance to use Black Adam, I like to remind you about that.
It's completely valid, dude. It's completely valid. Completely valid. Never.
And
so this is what happens when you make team building decisions at 6 hours before the event. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yep.
So we're looking at probably 10 figures from Rebirth.
Let's say 10.
I'd say closer to 15 to 20.
Okay, that's fine.
Because those chases, they got the lower point values and they work together really well, except for Devastator.
Yeah, no, he was terrible.
He was terrible. And I pulled this one, of course.
So did I.
Like I always thought Mirror Machine maybe didn't get enough play for being a meta figure.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you've just proved my point. That you've proved the point to me that that this is not a strong set. Because I do look through, I like the look of Diamond Patch. Weapon Hex looks interesting. The Mimics look interesting. Emperor Gladiator, Blackheart, and then I'll sort of go through, and then it's going to maybe Dark Beast. Sounds fun. I go and then mine goes to Multiple Man. I see great value in him as being a mastermind fodder. The Hellfire Club Guard, so you're probably looking at maybe if you put a stretch to it, 10 figures, that might be valuable. So no, maybe you're right, Chris, because I don't think I can tell you you're wrong about this set.
Well, I was just thinking, it's like they went with, what was the previous X-Men set, House of X, and they thought, okay, this is the greatest bunch, and then they have, we have all these sort of secondary bad ideas. Let's just make that Rise and Fall, and then we'll just throw everything over into that one. That's what it feels like they did. And then, we'll give a couple pieces here that work well, and there you go.
You may have just spoiled WizKid's entire product design plan.
Actually, that sounds good, because you got Fantastic Four.
Sound like that's maybe what they do.
Yeah, you got Fantastic Four, and then you got Future Foundation. I mean, Future Foundation did get a bunch more better things, but they might have went backwards with it. I don't know. I think we're into something here.
Yeah, you've stumbled across their intellectual property and know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're gonna ban me off of Facebook again.
But yeah, so okay, I think you've probably convinced me that it's not the best set. I'm still going to buy into it. I'm still going to look forward to having a bit of fun with it, and we'll just wait and see what comes out of it. I think as well, because only time will tell. See what people pull out of it. And
yeah, I got to say, with this set, I think it's more leaning towards, if you want one or two pieces, just go on eBay and buy them. This is the way that I'm kind of
single. This is a very single purchasable set, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are right. That's what I think it is.
You guys are right. That Professor X and Magneto, Ben, I think you're right. Those guys are very combo-y, and I think there's probably a lot to be explored about what they enable you to do. Really, those two, couple of Hellfire Club Guards, couple of Sentinels, and Blackheart. And that's kind of like it.
Yeah,
that I would be looking at.
For me, there looks to be some fun figures that I'll enjoy, some fun clicks that I'll enjoy playing. Like, I look forward to having an Omega Red and a Shadow King and those figures. But you're right, it's just going to be played at home. So they're just going to be played in my home game. So, cool. Well, thanks, Chris. That was a good discussion, because it's made me intrigued to get it into my hands now and see what I can do with it.
Yeah. It all comes down to, it's your wallet that you wanna spend money on, right? So, yeah, that's about it.
And so that was our Tell Me I'm Wrong. I think that's pretty much it for tonight, boys. I reckon we're nearly done. So we might head towards the end of the show. Chris, do you have a quote to finish off our show?
Yes, I do. I was kind of looking for something on Google, and this one came up. It's from Laird Hamilton, who is, I believe, a surfer that lives in Hawaii. A very cool guy to listen to. And he says, "Make sure your worst enemy doesn't live between your own two ears." So don't get down on yourself. Don't outthink yourself. Just don't be your own worst enemy is what it is.
Yeah, because sometimes you can be your worst enemy and put yourself at a great disadvantage. It's a great quote. I'm going to say I have been working towards making a Clix on the Barbie Twitter account. So we now have a Clix on the Barbie Twitter account. So if you want to look us up and follow us on Twitter, please do so.
We have a Facebook, right?
We have a Facebook page?
We do have.
Okay.
And I post every episode there, yeah. And we have followers.
Not aware.
We have followers.
Well, how many? How many followers?
Come on, Chris. We can discuss this offline.
Even I know I'm not one of them, so
yeah, I'll go. I might have to try to find this Clix on the Barbie page myself on Facebook.
Well, even our host doesn't have it. What the hell?
Well, my mom is following us.
That is awesome.
Raph's mum, our number one fan. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I know it's not Bobby because I don't think Bobby's listened to any episodes except for maybe one or two.
I have not listened to all of the episodes, but I've listened to some.
So,
Sorry.
for people out there, if you're fine, you are welcome to follow us on Twitter at Clix on the Barbie, and you are welcome to follow us on Facebook.
Clix on the
Barbie,
yeah.
which I am now going to try to be.
Please follow.
Yeah. And coming up next, Raph is going to have the OnlyFans account for Clix on the Barbie.
Yeah. It will be OnlyFans with Clix naked or something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
I'm out of that one. So yes, you're welcome to try to fight us, and obviously if you found us, you're listening to us on our YouTube page as well. And yeah, so thank you very much for listening. And as we bring another episode to a close and turn off the Barbie, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the show. And remember to have a great week. And lastly, remember that even a poor plan is better than no plan at all. Thanks for listening. Have a great time. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Keep your sticks on the ice.